All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where an order is expected to be made for Terence Crawford and Alexis Rocha to go to purse bid. Looks like Oscar De La Hoya, if things do not change by tomorrow, may have Terence Crawford trapped in a funny situation. And hey, man, should have took the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where we're still keeping track of what is going on with that division. And one of the biggest bits of news that have taken place recently is Terence Crawford and the negotiations that were going on between him and Golden Boy that were followed up by an order by the WBO to fight a Golden Boy fighter by the name of Alexis Rocha. Well, it looks like, according to the rules and regulations of the order itself, the time is expired as of tomorrow morning, which is a Sunday, March 19th, and the WBA will be ordering that fight to take place, which has ramifications for Terence Crawford. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support for the channel. Thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of videos like this and people that come by and support the live streams, which we do every day in the morning time for us old heads that get up in the morning, or truck drivers that have to work and have a really great conversation. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so you can participate in the conversations. But let's get into this because to me, I find this type of stuff interesting. The inner workings of the sport of boxing, you know, what goes into making the sausage. The sausage may taste good when it is prepared correctly, but it's always a mess behind the scenes, is what it seems like in the world of boxing. And the 147-pound division is definitely no exception to this rule, as Terence Crawford is the WBO welterweight champion of the world. He was in negotiations forever and a day with Errol Spence Jr. to make an undisputed fight. However, Terence Crawford decided that that was not the route that he wanted to go. He signs with BLK Prime for a one-fight deal, fights David Avanesyan, and then talked about Errol Spence Jr. at negotiating with Errol Spence Jr. after that. That apparently has not come to fruition or any progress either, from what I can hear from all parties involved, with the exception of Steven Espinoza, who seems like he is still optimistic that one day, the father that left him will come back home. That's the only way I can explain that, compare that, because, hey, you know, we'll see. However, there is a lot of movement in that division. And one of the big developments in the division was that Terence Crawford was negotiating with Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya said that he wanted to do a 3-fight deal, or a multi-fight deal, not a 3-fight deal. He mentioned 3 fights, but he said multi-fight deal with Terence Crawford, which would include a fight with Alexis Rocha, then a fight with Virgil Ortiz, and that since now that the PBC and Golden Boy are working together again and have put an event on together again, that they see how they can now make another one, and they could help make the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford fight. Now, if people can't see how that could possibly be the case, well, it could be. And the reason that it could be is because Oscar De La Hoya has money to bring to the table to bet on the fight. Pretty much, if you understand how boxing has worked historically, and when definitely the best way to illustrate it is how it worked during the formative years in boxing back like in the late 1700s over there in the UK. What would happen is that two fighters that wanted to fight each other would find two suitors. The two suitors, who would usually be in the aristocracy or wealthy class of people in the UK, they would find two suitors and they would put up a purse. Right now, the two fighters knew how much money they were getting, but they would put up a purse and they would fight over that purse. And I do believe the winner would get the lion's share of that purse. Both fighters would make money, but one guy would make more money. And then the aristocracy would also bring their friends and people around, and they would all gamble on the boxing match as well. So there's a lot of money to be made in the gambling on it. And also in the organizing of the fight and selling the fight, right? So one of the problems that Bob Arum said that Terence Crawford had was that Terence Crawford did not have a promoter, right? Somebody to bring the money with him to sit down with Oscar De La Hoya, where the promoter would say, okay, I'm going to pay my guy, you pay your guy. Then we're going to put on the big event, pay for the event. And then we're going to take a cut and then give our fighters a cut of the proceeds of the fight. If Oscar De La Hoya was able to come in and do that for Floyd Mayweather, for Terence Crawford, it could help make the fight. Okay, so that's pretty much the idea behind it. Now, what is happening with this purse bid, though, is that Terence Crawford is kind of in a funny situation because the purse bid is going to limit how much money he can make to however much is bid on that fight. And I do believe that the cut for the WBO for those fights are 75-25 for the purse. So if they bid $2 million on it, then Terence Crawford would get $1.5 million from the purse, and Alexis Rocha would get $500,000 from the purse, but that's all they would get. They would not get if Oscar De La Hoya was decided to put it on pay-per-view on DAZN, they wouldn't get a cut of the pay-per-view. If there was some type of, gate, I would suppose they wouldn't get any cut of the gate or the ticket sales associated with it. And so the amount of money that Terence Crawford can make would really be heavily dependent upon how much people willing to bet on the success of that fight. And seeing as Terence Crawford's last fight with David Avanesyan did not earn a lot of money, and the fight that he had with Oscar, according to Bob Arum, the fight that he had prior to that with Sean Porter lost money, you're probably not going to have a lot of people bidding on it, and you're pretty much going to be left to whatever Oscar De La Hoya bids on it. Some people could say, well, BLK Prime could bid on it, but BLK Prime cannot bid on it because BLK Prime is not a promoter. They are a network. You need to actually have a promoter that is able to pay the fee to go into the purse bid and then bid on it, right? Because you got to pay a fee to even participate in the purse bid, but you have to be a promoter to actually do it. So it's just a real funny situation. If for some reason Terence Crawford doesn't like the money, he doesn't want to do the deal with Oscar De La Hoya, and he doesn't like how the purse bid is going or the money in the purse bid, if he doesn't take that fight, he's got to vacate. If he doesn't want that belt, he's got to vacate that belt. If he doesn't want that fight, he's going to have to vacate that belt, which is honestly a win for Oscar De La Hoya, because his fighter is going to get a shot at that WBO belt without Terence Crawford. I think it would be prior to this Tank Gervonta Davis fight, I would say that I would have thought that would not necessarily be good for the division, but it may bring about undisputed faster than we otherwise would have gotten it, because if Errol stays at 154, that means the winner of Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz is going to be the WBA champion. The winner of Mario Barrios versus Yordenis Ugas is going to be the WBA super champion, and then is going to be the WBC super champion, and Jaron Ennis is going to be the IBF champion, because those guys are interim champions. You may actually be able to get a fight between Jaron Ennis and Jaron Ennis, the winner of Yordenis Ugas versus Mario Barrios, and then the winner of Victor Ortiz if he wins, or Stanionis if he wins. It could be with Stanionis as well. Stanionis and Alexis Rocha. If Alexis Rocha beats whoever the other guy is that they would put up there for it, then you may not get the big fight that you want, but you may get to undisputed at 147 pounds a lot quicker because Terence Crawford's not going to be in there holding up the fight. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.